Hey guys, today is the last team race ride, Tuesday night ride. Gone off and on depending on how the season goes and what I have time for. So the race ride is usually like 5:30 because the sun's going down a little bit before 7. We've cut the route short. So tonight is the last ride. I don't know what it is about like the 5 o'clock hour. I always struggle. Like once I get riding, I'm fine and I like to go out and play and have a good time. But like just getting motivated to go out and now I'm going to go out and just hit it kind of hard. I guess just because I'm ready to just be done with work and sit around the couch and do nothing. You got me falling. All right, here. And for lunch, took a friend of mine, Mark Ferry, out. He's had a bad mountain bike crash, and so he's in recovery. So we went to go have lunch at McCooney's, and we had like the garlic edamame. My stomach is not happy. Like I might sit at the back of the group today and not torture anybody. There have been a bunch of attacks, and I'm sitting second wheel behind Chris Flower. My teammate Eric sees that everybody's tired and attacks. And it happens near this little uphill section, and Chris Flower just puts on the gas. I think we hit like 500 watts, but we're around the 400s. At least I was, so I can manage the bigger guys that were putting down even bigger watt bombs. All to bring my teammate Eric back. So yeah, 4 or 5% grade. So it's strung out and it's hurt a little bit. So it eases up. Eric gets brought back, and then Chris Flower comes off the front. Now I'm sitting on the front, and so I'm just kind of easing the pace off. And that hurt, and I've been covering some other stuff. And then Eric goes again, and one of my other teammates, Garrett, goes with him, and then there goes Anthony Brantley, and some other guys go. So eventually I come off the front because I've been sitting towards the front and I'm just in the back. I had a shotgun for a while. And then I start to move myself forward. And you can see this guy is losing the wheel. There was another attack that went off and I was following it. And my teammate Lance goes in and just closes the gap right away. Moving up a little bit, there is a turn. We're going to go over some rollers. And so I start to move up, because I don't want to get caught behind guys who are getting dropped or not keeping up over the rollers. And we hit these rollers pretty hard. You can see that's over 500 watts for me. And so there's a series of these small little rollers that are really punchy, and they just suck it all out of you. And we've been going hard since the beginning of the ride. Eric is putting a couple of attacks, so at this point it looks like he's hurting a bit. So there's a gap, and one of the guys comes around and closes it. So things slow up again. There goes some more attacks, and Jordan is covering it. I think Lance is up there as well. Sorry, there's no front camera. This guy in blue goes for it. And so I just jump on his wheel, and Garrett jumps on my wheel, and it opens up a gap behind us. And the guy in blue eventually comes back. I forget his name, sorry. Garrett goes around me, and Garrett is so strong. He's a young cat, an elite cat 3. And so this is English Colony, and I'm just trying to see who I can catch. I catch Eric, who was also in that breakaway group that went up, and I also catch Anthony Brantley. So this is a neat kind of climate, and slowly bringing guys back. Kind of goes down, flattens, and then goes back up, and it's steep again. There's a tiny little bit of rest here over the train tracks, and then it goes up again, and then it's going to cross the street, and it's going to descend. And so right now it's descending, and I'm trying to catch whoever's up there in the front. And I'm pretty, honestly, I'm pretty gassed because that was a hard effort. That was already a threshold going into English Colony. So I'm working to try to bring some guys back. There's Lance, and that's actually Lance again. And he's working hard to get back on my wheel. And Anthony Brantley put in a big monster move, just a big effort to catch me and try to catch those guys off the front. He comes around, and then I can't even hold on to his wheel. He's going really hard, and I flick Lance through, and I'm just holding onto the back of Lance's wheel, who's holding onto the back of Anthony Brantley, and I'm like, 300, 350 on their wheel, and I'm dying. Oh, I just, if I could yell out and have said, Anthony, ease up, I would have. I was hurting. So eventually, Lance regroups and gets away from Anthony. I sit on his wheel for just a little bit, and then I come around him. And I just go into full TT mode right here. And I think Anthony's probably paying for that move he just did after Sierra call. He was calling. There's my teammate Jordan. I yelled at him before I came by, and he just couldn't get on. This is a pretty quick section. It's kind of a little bit of a false flat down, and I'm actually have caught 2 other guys, but they're on the side of me, so you can't see them. So sorry about that. Anthony put in a big pool. I was hanging on for dear life. I went up, I think he was calling really hard, past him, and then he caught me on the China-Mine rollers. So Kurt Mills has gone off the front, and Anthony Brantley is kind of somewhere in no man's land between them. I'm behind Garrett and Chris Flower, and I wasn't sure why Chris Flower wasn't pulling through, and then realized it was Kurt Mills. So I come to help Garrett and pull through. And we catch Anthony, and I'm just in full TT mode. As we get close, Chris just attacks to go across, and I'm like, crap. So I put in a dig and didn't realize that I was losing Garrett, but Garrett puts in a big move and gets away from the group that's behind him that was closing the gap, and then pulls through. Eventually we all get caught. But there was a lot of this going on. There goes another attack from Eric. Eric goes off at the front again. As it comes back, I think Chris Flower is still off the front somewhere. And Eric goes, go get him. So I put in an attack and bridge up to Chris. You can see there's a little bit of a gap, but it's going to come back. And so Kristen gets ready to start working. He's catching his breath and recovering. He just put in 2 big moves, but it all comes back. So just having fun. So this is getting ready to go into the Firehouse Sprint, and I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to do it, but I want to move up. So I'm putting in these little surges to move myself up and just come up alongside them, and then I jump on Stefan's wheel. I think his name is Stefan, and he just goes full sprint. I can't come around Stefan. One, he's super strong, and it was really tough to do that, but there's all kinds of obstacles on the side of the road, as you can see. So I just kind of sat up because it just becomes like there's nothing but the line. So there's like cars on the left and then all this stuff on the right.
Yeah.
It was the last ride of the season, last team ride. It seemed like it hurt more than normal. I don't know.
No, you just kept riding, right? Yeah, I just went. I was like, no.
Dude, I felt like I could. It was very surgy. It was very punchy.
Yeah, well, it was surgy, I think, because I was following you. So either you were surgy or you were following surgy.
I felt like I was constantly like, we'd start to accelerate and then it'd slow down. Then we start to accelerate and it'd slow down.
Yeah.
It's just unnecessary.
Hey guys, that's it for today's vlog. Hope you liked it. Like, subscribe, it helps the channel. See you in the next episode. Bye.